Imagine a world reshaped, a world where the familiar contours of power and influence have been dramatically altered. The familiar balance of power is gone. The old maps, once symbols of stability, are now relics of a bygone era. No longer do the nations of the West hold sway. Their influence, once unchallenged, has waned, leaving a vacuum in global leadership. A new group has risen to challenge them, BRICS Plus. This coalition, driven by ambition and a vision for a multipolar world, seeks to redefine global governance. This alliance, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa and their allies, stands ready to contest the old order. They bring together vast resources, diverse cultures, and a shared goal of reshaping the world. This is not a fairy tale, but a potential future. A future where the pages of history are being rewritten and the timeline of global events is accelerating towards an unknown destiny. It's a future born from shifting alliances, economic strength, and the echoes of a changing world. The rise of new economic powers and technological advancements are the driving forces behind this transformation. This scenario explores a hypothetical conflict, a global showdown between BRICS Plus and NATO. The stakes are high, and the potential for a new kind of Cold War looms large. It is a clash of ideologies, economies, and military might. The balance of power is precarious, with each side vying for dominance in a rapidly evolving world. The outcome of this conflict would redefine the geopolitical landscape for generations to come. The world as we know it would be irrevocably changed, with new borders, new alliances, and new power structures emerging from the chaos. It's a future full of uncertainty, but one that demands our attention. As the clock ticks and storm clouds gather, we must remain vigilant and prepared for whatever lies ahead. The choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. The BRICS Plus nations are not to be underestimated. This coalition, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and their allies, is a formidable force on the global stage. They represent a significant portion of the world's population, with billions of people contributing to a diverse and dynamic cultural landscape. They hold vast reserves of natural resources, from oil and gas to minerals and agricultural products. Their economies are growing at an impressive rate, driven by industrialization, innovation, and a young, ambitious workforce. This bloc is united by a common goal: to break free from a world order they see as outdated and unfair. They seek to establish a new paradigm, one that reflects their aspirations and values. On the other side of this hypothetical divide stands NATO, a powerful military alliance. Forged in the aftermath of World War II, NATO represents the military alliance of North America and much of Western Europe. It was created to ensure collective security and to counterbalance the influence of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. NATO has long been the dominant military power on the world stage, with advanced technology, strategic alliances, and a commitment to mutual defense. However, the world is changing. Emerging technologies, shifting economic power, and evolving political landscapes are reshaping the global order. The old order is being challenged. New alliances are forming, and the balance of power is shifting. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the titans are stirring, and the world is on the brink of a new era. In a head-to-head confrontation, the sheer size of BRICS Plus presents a significant advantage. China and India alone boast some of the largest active military forces globally. This manpower advantage extends beyond raw numbers. It translates into a massive industrial capacity capable of churning out military hardware at an astounding rate. While NATO nations enjoy advanced technology and training, the sheer volume of resources and manpower available to BRICS Plus could easily tip the scales. Imagine a constant barrage of missiles, a relentless wave of armored divisions, and a sky filled with fighter jets. This is the potential reality of a conflict between these titans. Beyond manpower, BRICS Plus holds a strategic geographic advantage. Control over key maritime choke points like the Strait of Malacca, the Suez Canal, and the Strait of Hormuz could cripple NATO's supply lines. These maritime bottlenecks are the arteries of global trade. Imagine a world where the flow of oil, goods, and military reinforcements is choked off. NATO's reliance on global supply chains would become a vulnerability. Meanwhile, BRICS Plus's more localized economies and internal resource networks would offer a level of resilience. Section 5. Closing the fist. Control over resources extends beyond geography. Imagine BRICS Plus leveraging its dominance in food production and rare earth minerals. These are essential for everything from electronics to renewable energy technologies. Denying these to NATO nations would cripple their economies and warfighting capabilities. This economic warfare could cripple NATO. Imagine factories falling silent, tanks running on fumes, and citizens facing food shortages. This is not a war won on the battlefield alone, but in the factories, fields, and mines. Section 6. The opening salvo. In this hypothetical scenario, the conflict wouldn't begin with a grand declaration, but with a series of calculated moves and counter-moves. Cyber attacks could cripple critical infrastructure in NATO nations. Disinformation campaigns could sow discord and doubt. Proxy conflicts could erupt in strategically important regions. The opening salvos would be subtle, but their impact would be devastating. Financial markets would plummet. Social unrest could erupt. The very fabric of NATO societies could begin to unravel, even before a single shot is fired on a traditional battlefield. Section 7. The Bear and the Dragon March West. This chapter delves into the strategic maneuvers and military tactics that could unfold if the BRICS Plus alliance, led by Russia and China, were to initiate a coordinated westward offensive. The implications of such a move would be profound, reshaping the geopolitical landscape in ways that are both complex and far-reaching. Following the initial destabilizing strikes, BRICS Plus forces would likely launch a multi-pronged offensive. This strategy would involve simultaneous attacks on multiple fronts, designed to overwhelm and confuse their adversaries. The coordination between the various branches of the military would be crucial, with land, sea, and air forces working in unison to achieve their objectives. Russian forces, hardened by years of experience in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, could surge westward. Their familiarity with the terrain and the harsh conditions of these regions would give them a significant advantage. The Russian military's ability to adapt and respond to rapidly changing situations would be a key factor in their success. Simultaneously, Chinese naval and air power would assert dominance in the Pacific, potentially targeting US military bases and disrupting supply lines. The Chinese military's focus on technological advancements and strategic positioning would play a critical role in their efforts to control key maritime routes and airspace. NATO, caught off guard and facing internal turmoil, would struggle to mount an effective defense. The alliance's ability to respond quickly and cohesively would be severely tested. Internal divisions and differing national priorities could further complicate their efforts to present a united front against the BRICS Plus offensive. The technological edge they once enjoyed would be neutralized by BRICS Plus advancements in hypersonic missiles, artificial intelligence, and electronic warfare. These cutting-edge technologies would enable BRICS Plus to conduct highly precise and effective operations, disrupting NATO's command and control systems and neutralizing their strategic advantages. The once mighty NATO alliance would begin to crumble under the pressure. The sustained and coordinated efforts of the BRICS Plus forces would expose and exploit the weaknesses within NATO, leading to a gradual but inevitable disintegration of the alliance. The geopolitical consequences of such a collapse would be far-reaching, potentially altering the balance of power on a global scale. Section 8. A World in Flux. The collapse of NATO would send shockwaves across the globe. The US, once a guarantor of global security, would be forced to withdraw from its international commitments. Power vacuums would emerge, leading to further instability and conflict. In the aftermath, BRICS Plus would likely establish a new world order, one where their values and interests take precedence. This new order would have profound implications for global trade, international law, and human rights. The world as we know it would be forever changed. Section 9.1 World, Many Voices. This hypothetical scenario is not a prediction, but a thought experiment. It underscores the shifting dynamics of global power and the potential for conflict in a multipolar world. It highlights the dangers of underestimating emerging powers and the need for diplomacy, cooperation, and understanding in an increasingly interconnected world. The future is not predetermined. It is shaped by the choices we make today. By embracing dialogue, fostering cooperation, and addressing shared challenges, we can create a future where conflict is avoided and prosperity is shared by all.